Hi, this is John Okoro again. Welcome to the Auspicious Agile video blog. This week we're going to talk about if scaling Agile really is hard. Is it really that hard, or are we just making a big deal of how hard that would be? Well, traditional Scrum, which can be used, or you could use Kanban or XP related approaches at a team level, are usually the starting point small companies and teams will use to do Agile, and it works very well. When we try to scale this up to an enterprise level, here we're looking at a sample from a safe scaling framework for scaled Agile, and there's many frameworks for scaling Agile. What we see is there's a lot of complexity that is associated with that. So what types of complexity? Well, first, we have increased complexity in the organization. We have larger organizations that mean more people, and of course, more people means more complexity. We have broadly distributed teams, often geographically around the world, from the setting of the sun, rising of the sun, to the setting of the sun. And we have different budgets and financial and regulatory that we also have to look at and consider. So let's look at the teams. I've worked in one project where we had teams, around 50 teams distributed all around the world. They all had to integrate their code together. Everything had to work together. There was continuous integration. We had to be able to hold stand-ups and have those things happen. Of course, some of the tools that we can use do support that, and that is beneficial, but there's a lot of complexity. So one team might be coming in the morning, and at the same time, a team from another region may actually be leaving for the day. Maybe you have a team that's located in Asia, and when they finish for the day, the team in North America may not have even started their business day, which means that very hard to do stand-ups, very hard to coordinate across all of those teams. Not to mention they're dependent on each other, potentially for different dependencies on their projects, on code or software they're working on, other technology products that they might be working on. And then we have stakeholders. So we have stakeholders that are going to be at the executive level. We're going to have the C-suite who are going to be interested in the progress of the projects and the work that are taking place with Agile and the products that are being made for the organization. We're going to have others who are going to be looking at where we are from a market perspective. You're going to have product management and marketing. You're going to have legal stakeholders who are looking at that as well. You're going to have those who are looking at the financials, finance and budget and progress tracking. So all of those different stakeholders are going to be interested. And then we have geographically distributed work that's taking place. We mentioned at the teams that we are looking at work that is going to be happening potentially all around the world, from Asia Pacific and Australia and New Zealand and Asia to Europe, EMEA, Europe and the Middle East and Africa, maybe happening in North America, South America. And you're going to have teams that are going to have people all around the world in that way. Now, certainly, having the internet and having electronic whiteboards and task boards and tools that help to support this help us in many ways to be able to make it a little bit of a smaller world in terms of collaboration. But it doesn't change the fact that if it's the middle of the night for me here in Asia, for instance, it actually is probably the middle of the day for someone who's working in North America or for Europe. Maybe they're moving into the afternoon their time, which means that for each one of us, we have geographic collaboration that we need to figure out how to deal with at scale. And we also have different things in regulatory. There may be requirements of the teams that are in Europe that may not be required of the teams that are in Asia or North America. Other things required by local government. There might be restrictions on internet or different access that we have to deal with. So we've got a lot of complexity with geography. And then, of course, there's budgets. We need to track budgets. When it's at a small company or a team level, it's really pretty easy just to say, well, here's what we're doing. We have this bucket of money and that's it. But when we go to a scaled context, we need to look a lot more at how that fits into our overall organizational budget and how we're tracking against it. And then we also have regulatory. We have to make sure that if we're doing work for a telco or a utility or otherwise, that we're meeting the regulatory or a bank, the requirements that they have. And we've got to look at planning. So we have planning that takes place at multiple levels in Agile. We'll be talking about this in upcoming Auspicious Agile blog posts. But what we're going to see is that we have to plan at multiple levels organizationally to be agile and support that. So what does that comes down to is, wow, that is a lot of complexity, a lot of things that we have to deal with in order to really be able to scale agile. So we could say, let's just take a Scrum or basic team framework and let's scale it up, and that should be good enough. But realistically, looking at all this complexity, logically, there is a lot that we have to deal with in order to really scale Agile successfully across the enterprise. What that means is that scaling Agile in the organization, it's a journey. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. It's unlikely to happen in 1 quarter or in 6 weeks, as I've heard many people kind of say, well, when we get the results, we'll be able to scale this and get it all done pretty quickly. And that is very unrealistic. The likelihood is going to take time, planning, guidance, and it's going to take a lot more than 1 quarter. We may be able to ship some products initially, but that doesn't mean that we've completed a successful enterprise agile transformation. So next time we're going to get into how some of the specifics, how we successfully scale agile in the enterprise and things that we can do to make this less painful and more successful. And until next time, stay agile. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you. Hi, this is John Okoro again.